The vulture's egg will be hatched within 24 hours, and the journey to the heart of the forest of the spirit takes 24 hours. The egg must be broken and not hatched for your journey to be successful, else you will remain married to the spirit forever. In the heart of an African kingdom, there dwelt a princess named Amara. She was as radiant as the morning sun, with eyes that sparkled like diamond, and a smile that could lit up the darkest of nights. From the moment she was born, Amara was admired by all who beheld her beauty. Yet, none of the men who admired her dared to ask for her hand in marriage. For years, Amara wondered why no suitor came for her hand in marriage. She watched as her friends and cousins found love and happiness. Yet, she remained alone in her gilded cage. But no matter how many admirers she had, none dared to take the next step and ask for her hand in marriage. As the years passed, Amarachi's heart grew heavy with longing. She longed for the touch of a lover's hand, for the warmth of husband's embrace, but still, no suitor came forth to claim her hand, and she began to fear that she would remain alone forever. Little did she know that reason for her solitude lay hidden in the shadow of her past. For her mother, Queen Zara, had been barren for 10 long years before her birth, and in her desperation, she had made a pact with the spirits to give her a child. In return, the spirits demanded that the child be betrothed to his son, a husband who would exist only in the realm of the unseen. At first, Amara was unaware of her betrothal to the spirit, but as she grew older, she began to feel the presence of a husband figure in her life, a silent guardian who watched over her with unwavering devotion. Though she could not see him with her eyes, she felt his presence like a comforting blanket, wrapping her in a sense of peace and security. At first, Amara welcomed the presence of her unseen husband because of the peace of mind and the comfort he brought her in her loneliness. Her parents wondered why all of a sudden she stopped being concerned about getting a suitor. But as the years passed, she began to long for a love that she could see and touch, a love real and tangible. Determined to break free from the bonds of her betrothal, Amara sought out the wisdom of the guidance of the Spirit, and in his ancient words and mystical chants, he said to her, "Your mother had the answers to your problem. Go to her and explain all had been happening to you. But make sure you return in the next 4 market days, for I have the solution to your problem, if you are willing to embark on the journey." Princess Amarachi went home that day and explained everything to her mother, who cried as she confessed to her. On the 4th market day, Amara returned to the wise man, and the wise man said to her, "There is only one way and one opportunity for you to free yourself from the spiritual bond. If you miss it, you will remain forever married to the spirit." He gave her a vulture's egg and said to her, "You will go to the middle of the forest of the spirit, and you must arrive at the spot at exactly 12 midnight. Once you arrive at the spot, break the vulture's egg and command the spirits to let you be. The vulture's egg will be hatched within 24 hours, and the journey to the heart of the forest of the spirit takes 24 hours. The egg must be broken and not hatched for your journey to be successful. The vulture's egg can last 3 minutes longer than 24 hours, but that is only if you keep it away from the sight of the spirits you would meet on your way. Many of them are obstacles. Go now, and good luck. Princess Amara left the shrine, wondering how she could accomplish such a difficult journey. But she encouraged herself by saying, "I would rather die in the forest than to remain married to a ghost." She set out for her journey. There, she met so many obstacles, just as the wise man had stated, which she was able to navigate in her wisdom, still hiding the eggs from the spirits. Then, along the path, she met a very old woman, shaking, and was carrying a heavy firewood. The old woman pleaded for her help, but she is already 2 minutes behind the time given to her to arrive at the spot. If she began to help the old woman, she would lose the time entirely. But she can't ignore her either. Then, she helped the old woman, took the firewood. On getting to the woman's hut, she realized she had only fewer time left, which she has to be as quickly as possible to be able to get to the spot. Which she has to be as quickly as possible to be able to get to the spot at least, before the vulture's egg hatches. She dropped the firewood and bid the old woman farewell, in sadness that she would die if she couldn't make it on time. As she was about to leave, the old woman said to her, "My daughter, you can never make it to where you are going again. Please, help me prepare the food I will eat, for I have not had anything for long now, because I don't have any strength in me to cook." Princess Amara felt like killing the old woman, but she was right anyways. The princess dropped her bag and cooked for the old woman. After cooking, the old woman begged her to help her wash her dishes. The princess helped her. After doing the dishes, the princess picked her bag to leave again. Then the old woman said to her, "Please, my daughter, I know I have taken much of your time, but please, can you help me fetch some water from a river very close to my hut?" The princess, without delay, took the pot, even though she was so angry in her, and she was weeping because she had not only lost the time she had to get to the spot, but she's going to die in the middle of nowhere. The worst part is that her parents had no idea of her whereabouts. As she was about to go, the old woman said to her, "Are you not aware you are in the heart of the forest of the spirit? Are you not aware you could be killed? Look, behind you is the place you are going to. You have 2 minutes left to get there and complete your ritual. I am your grandmother, the goddess of the land. I have the power to move the land to any destination I want. Because you are kind and humble, despite all the wealth under your control, the gods have shown you mercy. Go now, complete the ritual and run back home without looking back. Remember, don't visit the wise man until you see your father." Then the princess thanked the old woman and did as she said. As the final words of the incantation fell from her lips, Amara felt a surge of power course through her veins, lifting the veil that had shrouded her betrothal from sight. And in the darkness that surrounded her, she saw the ghost figure of her unseen husband fading into nothingness as the bond that held them together was broken at last. She ran home without looking back. With the bond of the spirits broken, Amara felt a sense of freedom washed over her, like a bird released from its cage. And as she emerged from the depths of the forest, she knew that her destiny was now in her own hands. As fate would have it, Amarachi's path crossed with that of a prince from a distant land, who came to pay a royal visit to her father, a man whose heart was as pure as her own, and whose love knew no bound. And in the warmth of his embrace, Princess Amarachi found the love she had always longed for, a love that was real and true. Amarachi and the prince were married in a grand ceremony that echoed throughout the kingdom. Their union was a testament to the power of love and the strength of the human spirit. It was after the wedding that the wise man got to know that Amarachi returned safely. His plan was for her to die in the forest so that he can claim the throne, as the king had no heir. That was why he gave her the egg due for hatching and instructed her not to help anyone in the forest, knowing that she would meet a helper spirit that would fasten her journey. The wise man was so angry and disappointed because his plans had failed. He requested that the king pays him some ransom for saving the princess. The king, without hesitation, rewarded him heavily. Amara and her husband embarked on their journey together, working hand in hand as she ruled their kingdom together with her husband after the demise of her father, the king. Amara knew that she had finally found the happiness she had always dreamed of, a happiness that no spirit could ever take away.